What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time, DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote. And maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Make your next thing a big one. Speaking of entertainment, today on the program, I have Teslanay. Her little blurb is pretty much all we need for right now at the top. A renowned singer, songwriter, and producer. Oh my goodness. I'm ready to have a good conversation with Teslanay, and you're going to hear a little bit more in the next few minutes. So stick around. This week's shows, I have my one public show, my faithful Friday night at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. Yes, I said karaoke. You're the stars of the show. We got a little concert starring each and every one of you. So if you want to be a star, or if you just want to sing, if you sing in the shower, if you sing in the car, you could sing on stage right there at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, from 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the a.m. They got a full bar, kitchens open, pool tables. They got a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool and possibly make some money while you're doing it, check out the Rab, Conway, Arkansas, 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the a.m. Friday night. Also, and on Saturday night, I have a private event. 50th birthday party. Yeah. So unless you're invited, you cannot come. I just mentioned it because I'm excited. I get to do a birthday party. 50th birthday party. So I'll probably be playing music from the late 80s, early 90s. Because whatever music that you liked when you were in high school, when you graduated high school, you probably still like it. So that's a good place to start. All right, party people, let's get into it with Teslanay. So excited. I got her on Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version, I encourage you to check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDan. Skyping Teslanay now. Before we start, let me let you know the first 17 minutes of the podcast doesn't sound as good as it possibly could, but the majority sounds great. Enjoy Teslanay on the What Makes You Famous podcast. Look at you, Teslanay. Oh, my goodness. So excited to be on this side of the screen. I know the best way to do these things is always in person, but the next best thing is these video, audio. I get to put audio versions of the podcast, video versions of the podcast. That way, people know a little bit more about the great Teslanay. And I say great because I've been perusing your site for weeks now. I've been stalking you for weeks, as it were. I don't know if that's the right way to say it, but it seems kind of accurate because, Teslanay, I don't know if anyone's told you, but okay, I'll put it this way. This could be possibly the sexiest podcast ever made because the music that you put out, it drips. It makes you feel a certain kind of way. If you were in a mood where you were feeling off-put, you put a Teslanay song on, and you're going to get feeling all right. Teslanay, all right. Good to see you. Good to meet you. Hey, give the people an idea of who you are in your words.
Okay, well, I am a singer, songwriter, performer, producer. I've been singing since I was 5. Now I know they got some stuff on here about my history that says I started singing at 7, but that's not correct. I've been singing since I was 5, and been singing ever since.
Teslanay. All right. Well, tell me about the name Teslanay. Is that the God-given name? Is that the stage name that was chosen? And how did that come about?
Well, actually, my legal name, my government name, it is pronounced Teslanay. That's what my mama named me, but it is spelled differently. I had to change the spelling of my name as an artist about maybe 7 years ago because the regular spelling of my name, if you were to see it, it's really hard for people to pronounce. So I had to break it down. And so that's what you see today, the Teslanay. So people can pronounce it.
Well, I believe that's a Louisiana thing. The Cajuns seem to like to put that like that row, like the EAUX, and then people often change that to an O, just a simple O, instead of having that all those letters jammed together, making it all French and such. So I'm guessing, was Teslanay originally kind of a French spelled name? This is just me projecting.
Yes, it's actually the government spelling of my name is actually, it has some French orientation, according to my mom. She got my name from a movie, but she spelled it a little bit differently than it was back then. And so, but yes, it's French, more French than Southern.
Well, I'm fascinated by Louisiana. It's one of my favorite places to visit. One of the first places that I visited when I was able to drive long distances all by myself. When I got myself a car and I said, I want to drive someplace. So I drove to New Orleans and I drove to Baton Rouge and really there's only what is it, two roads that kind of intersect. Is it Airport and I-10 and maybe I-12? Are kind of the biggest roads?
Yes.
What part of Louisiana are? I'm sorry, say it again.
I said I-10 and I-12 do intersect at various points. So, yeah, those are the two that I know of that intersect with each other.
Oh, okay. I thought those roads were parallel. I remember taking a trip cross country. I was living in Miami at the time, born and raised in Miami and in the Florida Keys, which is where Keys Dan came from. And I bought a car and I said, there was once a girl that I knew in Baton Rouge. I think I want to go and visit with her. So that's what I did. I took a 1,000-mile trip just to get to Louisiana. Wow. And then I enjoyed myself. What part of Louisiana are you in?
I'm in Baton Rouge, actually. And so when you said that, there is a point, I guess, where I-10 and I-12 do connect or meet up or cross over each other. But I don't know if they really run parallel to each other, but I don't know.
Well, okay, Baton Rouge is more on I-12, and this is kind of inside baseball for the tourism bureau of Baton Rouge. Now, tell me, all right, people know about New Orleans and the French Quarter and all that kind of thing, but Louisiana is a whole lot more. Yes, there is a lot of French history. Louisiana, founded by the French. What do you know about Louisiana being born and raised and growing up in Baton Rouge?
Well, I was actually born and raised in Gonzales, Louisiana, and that's like maybe 20 minutes away from Baton Rouge, but that's really my hometown. I live in Baton Rouge now, but yes, Gonzales to me is, just a southern town. And it just, only thing I really remember the most up there is everything is pretty quiet. It's not one of those fast cities. Not a whole lot happening there. And Baton Rouge is a little bit brighter than Gonzales, but it's still one of those, town cities. It's not a whole lot. We have the Canes Center here where we have a lot of concerts downtown, but, we have our state capitol and, things like that, like most states, but it's just a southern town. I just love it. I'm a southern girl and Baton Rouge put a little bit more city in me because it's, a bigger city. And so I just enjoy living here. It's so peaceful and calm and I love it.
Well, that very.
I don't have to say about it, but I love it.
Well, that very same lady that I was talking about, I met her in Fort Lauderdale, and then she moved to Louisiana to work at Louisiana State, and that's there in Baton Rouge. And being in a college town, I know there's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of, when you're in a college town, when there's a lot of schools and a lot of young people that get infused, they come in. Sometimes they go home, or most of the time they go home, but every once in a while people will fall in love with the place that they went to school and they stay there. Louisiana State, it seems to be one of those that has a fan base. What do you think about being in a college town that helps the creativity, the juices flow in that town?
I think it helps a lot. Other thing that I guess I forgot to mention that yes, LSU is here, Louisiana State University, and also Southern University. Those are the two big colleges here. And when it's football season, it is hype. I mean, we have visitors from everywhere. So I believe that because I went to LSU, so I'm a proud LSU student. So my thing is, I think when students come from other states or out of the country and they go to school here, I think just getting that whole Southern foundation and element here, it does help because you're only going to get certain foods here. Everything is spicy, Cajun, Creole, and when you go up north, you just have, most people say the food is bland, but I think it's just the culture here. The students can get so much more than just their education.
Well, it's amazing how much the food, and me being a fat boy, the food, it defines an area, defines the culture. Whenever you go to a different place, be it anywhere across the United States or even around the world, pretty much the first thing that you're going to do is have a meal with those people, with the people that you are visiting with. And you're making me hungry for a shrimp po' boy right about now. But no, and I remember, when I was first learning how to cook, blackened. All right, blackened. Maybe I was a Cajun cook all along because I used to blacken everything, and I think that meant burnt, but really blackened means like spicy and some good red cayenne pepper. Some good. Yes.
Yes.
Well, tell me about you. Are you a good cook?
Yes, I am.
What's your
My
dish?
mama told me I cook everything. I can cook red beans and rice. I can cook crawfish, fettuccine, crawfish etouffee. I know how to cook crawfish, crabs, fried. I just can cook everything. I can go on and on.
Well, people listening to the audio version of this aren't going to check that my eyes and my mouth is watering right now on the video version of this podcast. Oh, my goodness. And I'm in Conway, Arkansas, in that area right now. So Arkansas is just above you. So I'm a little closer. So I'll be over for dinner sometime. I'm inviting himself over to see Teslanay and that fine cooking. Well, you went to LSU. What did you study?
Business management.
That is so important in everybody, every business, every walk of life, every job you get. You better have some business knowledge or you're going to get eaten alive, especially in this crazy business that you call show business, music business. It eats people alive, figuratively speaking. But you having a good head on your shoulders, how far did you go? Did you get some knowledge?
Yes, I got some knowledge. I must say, I didn't get a chance to graduate. I only went for 3 years, so that I missed my last year and didn't get my, diploma. But I learned so in that period of time. So I'm not gonna say it was a waste. I mean, I really got the knowledge that I needed.
Absolutely.
The most.
Absolutely. Yeah, go ahead.
Go back.
I'm sorry, say again.
I said I would love to go back and finish. It's just things are so busy and, I mean, I don't want to use it as an excuse, but I like to go back and finish my last year.
Well, I mean, you were starting to sing at 5 years old. What do your parents think of that? And when 5 years old up till maybe you're 17, 18, when you're about to graduate high school, and then you say, I want to make the music business my business. And does your mom and dad tell you to go to school, stay in school and go to college? Or whose idea was it to keep going?
It was actually, my idea. I didn't go, most kids graduate from high school and they go straight to college. I did not go straight to college. I actually didn't start college until I was 21. So I'm a late starter, and I only got the 3 years in. I never got the full 4 years.
Well, I can hear it in your voice. You're kind of a little sad about that. I went to college a bunch of times. I most of the time I went to college to learn a skill, I went to a radio school and learned that. And I went to fire school and I learned that. Went to paramedic school, learned that. It's just that you get the tools that you need to keep you going in your life. Did you, in those, Let me go back to when you were a baby, Teslanay, and growing up in school. Were you musically inclined the whole time? Were there any other interests in your life? What was a young Teslanay learning from, well, your parents anyway, and your friends and your brothers and sisters, if you care to share?
Well, yeah, I don't mind sharing at all. Normally, when I go back to when I was 5. What I mostly talk about in an interview is, my sister. Because there's 4 of us, and I'm the third of 4. So my sister, she's my big sister, so she's number 2, and she played the acoustic guitar by ear, and so just her playing her guitar. And my mom always played the oldies, the blues. And so that just kind of drove me to just love music. And, I tell the story of, my sister and I went to the same school for a couple of years until we moved. But when I was 5, I used to actually school for some other students there. And we made a daily thing of it. I would just sing. She would beat on the walls or any kind of way she could play music, and then when we would go home, she would get on her guitar and she would play, and I would sing along, and we brought that up into my teenage years, and my mom always playing Aretha Franklin and some of these older singers. I just gravitated to that, and I think that's where I really grabbed that foundation from 5 all the way up until my teenage years. Then as I got a little older, I kind of just started writing and started off writing poems, and I started writing actual songs a little bit later. And I can go on and on, but it just kind of started off, my family is musically inclined. All of my siblings know how to play an instrument except for me. I guess my instrument is my voice, but plays guitar. My younger brother plays drums and bass guitar, and my older brother, he plays the drums and the trombone. And so we just always we have always had music in my family. And then my dad, as a part of church, he always sung, as a part of, he sung as a part of a quartet back in the day. And so that was a little foundation there too. So music is in my family, just to summarize it.
No, I find that to be true. And go. Okay. No, we were talking about your mom, and she was, we talked about your brothers and sisters all being musically inclined, but your mom's playing records for you. I love when moms influence, because my mom definitely influenced when I was just a little baby DJ. She's giving me 45s. She's giving me 8-track tapes. She's giving me albums. And she gave me this little record player that was, I feel like it was from a junkyard, but it worked. It worked really well, and it influenced me a lot. But what was your mom playing in the house? And you said some blues, some oldies, but what are the ones that stick out to you?
She used to play Smokestack Lightning. That was one of her favorites. She played B.B. King. Oh my God, it's so many that, she played the Temptations, and she played a lot of Aretha Franklin's music, Patti LaBelle. There's just so many singers from back then that it was mainly, Aretha Franklin that gave me, I listened to her the most because I just loved her style. And, I could just name so many. I'm just trying to think of some of the older artists outside of those. But yeah, it was mainly the blues that she played. And, she played the Commodores and other artists, that came along later, but she really stuck to the old time blues, like You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog.
Mama Thornton,
right. And I can't think of his name that sung Smokestack Lightning, but I love that song growing up.
I don't know. Actually, you said that before, and I love when I hear stuff that I kind of remember, but I don't quite remember. Let's go. This is when I can use the power of the internet, and it's Howlin' Wolf. Howlin' Wolf.
Oh my God.
Oh my goodness, one of the greats, and so
Yes.
distinctive. Just the way he sang. He sang like he was an animal. Ow, oh, just really
Yes.
really used that persona. But you were saying about Aretha Franklin. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can hear when I listen to your voice, when I listen to your songs, I can hear the realness. And it feels like I don't know that if you're writing the songs yourself, but it's like a storytelling of real life. It's little bites of life. Like, for example, okay, I was listening to Slide Up on Me. These are some sexy songs right here. Bad Habits, In Charge. These are, and you could see the progression. The first songs were kind of a little bit lighter, but then you got into your groove a little bit. And even there's a video of you on the Slide Up on Me, and it's up in a club, and you can, oh my goodness, I want to go to that club. I want to be there while you're singing that song. Tell me about that particular song and how that video came about, because I'm a child of the 80s, and I was there when MTV came around. And I was even there in the 70s when they were playing music videos on Friday nights, and I was staying up way too late, way past my bedtime, watching these music videos. And then, the visual part and the audio part comes together. Now tell me about that video, how that came about, Slide Up on Me.
Okay, well, I want to first say that I write all of my songs. I do the lyrics. I always work with different producers for the music, but I write all the lyrics to my songs. And so that particular song, I wanted to have a dancing groove, because Southern soul music here is very popular. So the club that I'm at is a popular club here called Club Rags. And I wanted to have a club setting. So then I reached out to a dance group here that they actually do swing out type dances. And so I reached out to them because I wanted that visual with this song, because it's saying Slide Up on Me. So because I wrote it for the people that like to slide and swing out, I wanted that to be an element of this video. So they came up with a slide dance, and we got the fans for them. Everybody had a fan, and they worked that as a part of their dance routine for the video. And it just kind of came together. I just thought it was really nice. I had found the leading man, which is at the time was my bass player. He played the leading man's role. So it was kind of easy, and it just came together. I love it.
It does come together. And you say that club is pretty famous there. I mean, my goodness, it's got the brick walls, got the checkered floor, the dance floor it's made. That place is made for hanging and chilling and just having a good time. And there's a stage if you want to have a live show or a DJ there. Oh, I love a club like that. I do. I love the warmth of it. And it feels like a place you want to be. But, you having the song and the professional dancers, you could tell they're pros. You could tell they were, they were swinging and moving around. Even when they weren't doing the actual routine part, they're moving around. It gelled very well with your lyrics, with your song. Now, man, you write your own songs. You come up with your own lyrics. Yeah. When you go in, and I'm guessing you have, you said you have different producers, and I want you to shout out those people as this podcast goes along, as I want you to give shout outs, give credit where credit is due, because we cannot do this all by ourselves. We can get to a single level, maybe one level by ourselves, but it takes a team to get us that much further. Tell me about your experience with that. How you come up with the lyrics, and where do you go from there?
Well, just to give a little backstory on that, I mentioned earlier that I used to write poems when I was younger, and those poems later developed into songs when I, learned how to actually start songwriting. I would write first, and then I would apply that to music, or I would have someone create music for me. But later on, I started getting all of these tracks and music from all of these producers. And if it was something I really felt strongly about, like if that beat really pulled me in and I loved it so much, the lyrics would just flow in my head, and I would get my pen and pad and I would start writing, and I could write a song, like finish it in a half of a day. And so that's kind of where I was at a period in my life. Now it takes me a little bit longer. Sometimes it takes me a day or two to write a song, but it's the music that inspires me to write. It always has. And it even, the thought process, the idea comes in my head of what that song should be about when I hear the music. So when I heard the music, which the producer for that song is Reggie Mungo, excuse me. And as soon as I heard the track, I was like, oh, I'm feeling this. And I was like, oh, and I said, oh, this got to be a dance song. So immediately after I said that, that's when it just started coming to me. And next thing I know, I said, slide up on me. And then the chorus develops, and then I go back and I write the verses to the song. So there's a process for me. And that's kind of what I've been doing for the last maybe 15 years in writing all of my stuff.
Well, Teslanay, when people come up to me as a DJ and they say, oh, could you play a dance song? It's so subjective to what a dance song is. I often, my next question to them is, or my statement to them is, pick your favorite song. I will be happy to play it. Pick your favorite song. And hopefully it's a Teslanay song. No, I definitely, well, one of the things that I do as a club DJ and as a, the podcaster is to help people get known on a broader scale. All right. Maybe you haven't been exposed to the audience that I have on this podcast. And before that, even before that, as a club DJ, as a radio DJ, my job, since I don't play instruments, since I don't sing songs, I'm not that kind of talented. My job is to break out artists like Teslanay. Now, Teslanay, I say break out. I maybe give to a wider audience because you've already broken out. You're seasoned. You have been doing this for a lot of years, and you don't have to say your age or anything, but I can tell you've been doing this a lot of years, and I appreciate that. But I want more people to know about you. I mean, but obviously people know about you. Just that song has gotten 24,000 views on YouTube. I mean, what kind of feedback are you getting on the songs that you're putting out there? When people go to a Teslanay show, do they get to meet you at the merch table and you get to talk with them?
Yes, I do have merchandise. I sell everything: T-shirts, mugs, tumblers, CDs. I have just everything. I'm not going to name everything, but yes, I actually, after I perform, I normally, sit at a merchandise table and I pass out business cards. Every now and then I'll give out some free merchandise to different ones, especially if you rowdy at my show and you showing some attention. I give out some free items. But yes, I get to meet everybody and, and I share my social media information with everyone. So yes, I like to meet people. I'm from the South and we're huggy kind of people. We love meeting, everybody. So that's kind of in my nature. And I just follow that. I feel comfortable with it. And when I'm performing, it makes me feel good. And people come and show me love. They want to take pictures with me. They want me to sign autographs on the merchandise. I mean, I kind of been through it all. And it just makes me feel good that my music, that it touches someone enough to want to come out and see me and meet me.
Oh, it takes a lot for people to get out of their houses, especially the older we get. Yeah. I got kids. I got a wife. I got kids, and they don't want me to go anywhere unless I'm getting paid. But you're going to bring home a check. You're going to bring home some cash. I know,
right.
No, but and now we're talking about the business side. Selling merch, and actually, where does the money come when you're doing this thing? Because you want to, you do it because you love it. You have to sing a song for the people. You have an idea in your head. You have to write it down. You have to make it, put it to a melody. Hey, speaking of, your sister plays guitar. Your brother plays trombone. I guess the other two play what?
My younger brother plays drums and bass, and my older brother plays trombone and drums. And he plays a little keyboard too. I forgot to add that. So
you got a band right there. Have you ever performed with your brothers and sisters?
No, I have my own band.
Here I am thinking the Jacksons are coming around, the Silvers are coming around. And for people that know the Jacksons, they may not know the Silvers. Come on. there's a lot of family bands out there, but
Yes.
you never thought of playing together. Like you have an idea in your head and you go to your big sister and you say, hey, help me work this out on your guitar, or help me work this out on your trombone. I guess that might be a little harder, but help me work this out on your drum and keyboard.
They're not professional musicians. I mean, they just play because my family, for some reason, I don't know where we get it from, but they get an ear. None of them have had music lessons, with the exception of my brother with the trombone. That's the only time he had lessons. Everything else he plays so well, you would think he was a professional, but no, we never pulled together to try to be a band or anything. And this is just mainly me, from growing on up and just wanting to pursue, a music career. And so I wound up getting my own band and never really asked them to really do any shows or any, music, with or for me.
Well, I fully believe that a trombone is like a gateway instrument. I've talked to so many guitarists, bassists, drummers. Oh, I started when I was a kid playing trombone. Huh? Why? Why is the trombone like a gateway to other things? Or maybe they just give up that trombone. I'm not going to be in a New Orleans jazz band. I'm going to throw that trombone away and go find something that, be a rock and roll star or an R&B star. Now, you say you have a band. Have you, when you were first starting out, were you doing karaoke shows, open mics? How did you first get your word out about your music, and when was that?
Well, when I first started singing, which I hadn't mentioned, I did sing in a band for 4.5 years. And we did a lot of cover tunes back then. And as my career developed and I started singing more on a professional level, when I pulled the band together, well, when I first started, it was track shows. And then later it was with the band.
Okay.
So,
track shows are when a DJ plays the track without the vocals, and then you sing a song. This is for my loyal listener out there. And now the band, you've just opened an avenue where a musician, if you want to make it in the music business, you got two choices or quite a few avenues that you can explore. You could be in a party band where you learn about 200 or 300 songs, cover songs from somebody else, and you go do weddings. You go do corporate events. You go do, bar mitzvahs and what have you. And you go do shows playing other people's music. Now, when you were in that cover band, what kind of shows did you do, and what kind of songs were you covering?
It was mainly a blues and R&B band, and we did. It was 2 female singers and 1 male, and we did a lot of Patti LaBelle, Anita Baker songs, Johnny Taylor, Maze. We just sung so many different cover tunes that were popular, at the time. And then sometimes we'll reach back and maybe do one by the Temptations or, so it just varies, because I was in the band for 4.5 years. So we, interchanged songs so much that, we hit on a lot of artists. And I still sing cover tunes even now along with my music, because people want to hear that, something they recognize and remember. Because sometimes I'll sing in an area that people haven't heard of me. And if I know that, I know how to, get their attention. It's like, I'm going to sing this song and I know everybody loves this. And then after that, I'm going to sing mine. I'm going to sing a couple of mine. and that's going to grab your attention to focus on me, as an artist, and hear my music as well. So it's just all kind of things you have to do in this game as an artist, especially if you're singing in areas that you're not as known in. And cover tunes is not a bad thing. Some folks will say, I'm not singing anybody else's music. I'm only singing all my music. Well, okay, do that. If that's what you want to do. But I just find, when you're singing, to an audience of a lot of people, and they may not have heard of you, or if they did and maybe only heard one song of yours, it's good to just try to add that in your show, just to, pump it up some more.
I've spoken to both kinds of artists, and the ones that will limit themselves to only their own tunes. But even even the greats, even the ones that have gotten to the highest levels possible in this music business, in this career, they still, might throw in a little cover song just for giggles. I remember I was in Coconut Grove listening to Greg Kinn, that Our Love's in Jeopardy, baby, that guy. Well, he tried his hand at singing a song called On Coconut Grove, and he didn't know the song very well, but just the fact that he did it, and he was pandering a little bit to the crowd where he was at, it made us feel special. It makes the audience feel special. If you, but I know James Brown used to do that kind of thing, and Huey Lewis does that kind of thing. He has songs that have cities in them, right? But instead of saying Atlanta that one time, he'll say Baton Rouge. And you're like, hey, I know that's not part of the song, and you're pandering, but it makes us feel good that you remember us. You remember where we are. Now, Teslanay, you're playing, I'm going to guess it's mostly around the Baton Rouge area. And yes, to break out, if you go to a festival further away, people don't know who Teslanay is. Maybe they checked you out on YouTube. Now you could find out like that. You go to the SoundCloud, you go to the Apple, iTunes, you go to, Spotify, and you find Teslanay. Oh, okay, that's who we're going to go listen to at that festival over there. But, if they don't know you that well, you might bring them in with a Patti LaBelle song. Hey, do you mind if I sing one of my own? What crowd's going to go? No. They're all going to go, yeah.
Right. You got to know how to work it. But you know what I want you to know, since you're from Arkansas, I've actually been there twice, and I performed. But the biggest show that I performed at there was somewhere around the river. It was a yearly or annual blues festival for a radio station there. And they had several artists on that show, and there were about 15,000 people out there. That was a big show. And I want you to know, Keys Dan, that I was singing the song that was a hit for me at the time. It's called Bad Habits. And there were actually some people in that audience was singing my song with me. It almost brought tears to my eyes, because as an artist, when you are writing music and people hear your music, I mean, my music plays all around the world. But when you can go to a state that you haven't been to that many times, and people are actually singing that song with you, it put a flush over me, and it's an experience, So I just wanted you to know I've been to your town, I've been to your state.
Oh my gosh, that has to blow your mind when people start singing your songs back to you. When you can hold the microphone out for the chorus. I mean, what an experience, the energy changing back. I don't know if you even believe, or if I believe in the energy exchange, but there has to be an energy exchange. There has to be more people, that come out. You feel them grooving with you. It's because you're singing. It's because your band is playing, and it's hitting them. Oh, these notes are all gelling together. Oh, my goodness. It has to make you feel good. Oh,
it feels like an accomplishment. It really does.
Yes.
And I won't forget it. That's why I'm telling you about it, because I'm like, oh, yeah.
Well, the Riverfront is a big venue in Arkansas, and in Little Rock, Arkansas. And one of the first things when I moved here in 2009 from the Florida Keys, and I was I was friends with one of the backup singers for KC and the Sunshine Band down in Miami, Charlotte McKinnon. And when I first moved here in 2009, guess who came to sing? KC and the Sunshine Band, featuring Charlotte McKinnon in the background. And I finagled my way backstage, probably at the same place that you were, and I said, "Hey, Charlotte," and she goes, "What are you doing here?" So it's amazing, that is a great venue, and I'm so glad that you came to Arkansas. I mean, and I'm sorry I wasn't there. I feel blue, but I know that there's a lot of great venues, really all over this country and all over the world, where people play, and it just an exchange of feelings, an exchange of energies. And okay, maybe I do. Maybe I do believe in that. And you being in Louisiana, and I'm half Cuban, so there was a lot of Santeria. There was a lot of Santeria in my background. So exchanging energies and the Louisiana, there's a lot of voodoo. The hoodoo that you do. I don't know. It's all hoodly. My mom called it hoodly poodly. Because I don't know if there's anything to it. But in Louisiana, it's big. It's big. Tell me about that culture, how that affects, your singing, your everyday life, if it does at all.
What, the voodoo?
And no, being in Louisiana with that kind of that's part of the culture. That's definitely in there.
Well, I don't particularly believe in voodoo, so I don't really know. I know that it's part of the culture here and belief, but I never got into that whole voodoo thing. But we have so many different things here. I mean, people think we have alligators in our backyards, and and we don't. So it's just like I said, it's a southern atmosphere with a little bit of city in it, and I love it. I like the balance. It's not too much city like, New Orleans is a very big city. Like you mentioned, it's known for everything. Mardi Gras, Essence Festival, and so many other. They got, I'm trying to think, Canal Street, and it's just so many famous areas in New Orleans, and everybody wants to flock there. And I think Baton Rouge compared to New Orleans is, I would say New Orleans would be a 10 and we're probably more a 5. If you want to look at it at that type of scale. But it's a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
No, right. I mentioned I'm in Conway, Arkansas, which is a half hour away from Little Rock. Little Rock would be the biggest city. That's where all the stuff really happens. But Conway is kind of a lighter version. But we have 3 colleges. We have University of Central Arkansas and a Baptist college and a Hendrix College. And we have 3 colleges. So we have that injection, that influx of creativity, the young people that come in and they bring ideas and exchange ideas. And that's where you get your creativity from, or possibly what is your muse? What, where do the songs come from? Or do they, what are you thinking?
Well, I will say that, most of my songs are about past life experiences. I don't really think that it's so much of a Southern background other than it's just my personal life experiences, relationship wise, friendships and so forth. There's only one, of my songs that really has a Southern niche to it, if you want to call it that. And that's Red Beans and Rice. And because Red Beans and Rice is a Southern favorite, and, I wanted to write a song about my man. So what's the best Southern food that I could relate that to? And that's kind of how that song came to be. And so if I want to say, there's some Southern part of that. So I would say that would be the only song that I have that really has that type of foundation in it.
I'll put a little bit in the background for you. Doing that
Red beans and rice.
I like to welcome everybody.
Yeah.
To Teslanay's
the Teslanay juke joint.
Now, for tonight's special meal, we're serving up some Southern red beans and rice.
So sweet. Oh my goodness. Just makes you feel a certain kind of way. I did listen to this earlier, and I encourage people to listen to that. My goodness. Now, all right. One of my heroes growing up, and I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it, was Bill Cosby. Okay. That man made me laugh so much. My best friend is my best friend because of Bill Cosby. I can never hate Bill Cosby for his comedy. Maybe he did some stuff in his personal life, but one of the things I was so happy about was I was able to go to a concert with my best friend, John Canada. And he had he was down in Miami. So he's a storyteller. So he talked about the meal that he had last night with his Cuban family, rice and beans. So he had a whole routine about rice and beans. So your red beans and rice kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, and I know today people they call it cancel culture now,
Oh.
whereas people don't separate the business from the personal. And you're right. Bill Cosby was always one of my favorite comedians, from back in the day, and all of his movies from back then, and even the Bill Cosby show. I can't forget any of that. And I can't say that I'm not going to watch another Bill Cosby episode because of the things that he's done. I do not agree with the things that he did that was wrong, but I can't judge him. God will judge him, when it's time. And I leave it at that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, hey, we're all people. People are people. Yeah. If I had a camera on me 24 hours a day, yeah, somebody's going to record me stepping off the narrow path. I have to stay on the narrow path. And sometimes my little toe comes off the narrow path. Okay. That happens. Okay. And I these are things that I have to deal with my own creator and such, whoever that may be, whatever belief system that you come into. Now, I mean, and growing up, were you playing? You didn't play any music, but were you learning music? Did somebody teach you how to sing, or was this natural?
No, it's always been natural. My mom's sister, my mom said, sung forever and sung everything. And, she used to always compliment me on my singing when I was, growing up. She was like, you keep that up. She says, you are doing very well. And so she encouraged me too. My aunt, she loved to sing. She had a beautiful voice. She's no longer here on earth. My mom and my dad are both gone now. But, they really encouraged me a lot to keep singing, especially my dad. I'm a daddy's girl. And anything that I was interested in, he always pushed me. And there were times I wanted to give up, and he was like, well, if you really have a love for it, you're not going to give up. You're going to keep pushing. And I think he told me that a couple of times, and that last time he said it to me, it stuck with me. So I haven't given up after all these years.
Well, I mean, let's talk about the business side. You got that business background. How are you able to make a living doing this? Is this the primary thing? Or do you have a Joe job that at least affords you some insurance? Because people that are going into this career think that they're going to have it all. We're going to make millions, but you got no insurance for the most part, when you're starting out. Yeah. But I mean, how are you getting by?
Yes, I'm not going to say it's a hobby for me because I've been singing for really all my life, but I do have a day job. I work every day. And yes, and that's how my insurance is paid. So I never let that go because, even though, yes, I make money and I sing and I go on a couple of little tours and yes, that puts good money in my pocket. But, I've always believed I like something that's reliable and consistent. And when the time comes, if I ever get to that point where I can just totally walk away from it, I would. But right now it's just one of those things where I'm still grinding and pushing. And yes, I have some great songs that have done very well for me, but I'm not a Beyonce. I can admit that I'm not a Beyonce. So that day comes.
But some of your songs do remind me of the early Destiny's Child. Oh my goodness. You sound like all three of Destiny's children. like at different points of the song. I'm going, there's a lot of influence there, and it's got that feel. Oh my goodness! If I was feeling bad, it changed my attitude quick, like in a snap. And I imagine that's the feeling that you get when you go to a Teslanay show. And so tell people how they can go to a Teslanay show. Is there a regular place that you're at every week, or is there a place that you frequent quite a bit? Or, if they want to hire you out, what kind of shows are you available for?
Okay, so the first question is, I normally don't some people play locally at the same club every week. No, I haven't done that in years. So right now, I just sing mostly out of state. And I'm in Texas and Arkansas and Alabama, Mississippi, Texas. I can, name several other states, but, I'm normally singing abroad, and anytime that I have a show, I always get a flyer for that show, and it's normally me and other artists, and I always post it on my social media sites, So I'm on everything: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. I just kind of joined YouTube. No, not YouTube. TikTok. That's the going thing right now. So I had to think about it. So I don't really have a whole lot of content on it right now, but I do plan on building that up. And I do have a YouTube page where I have my music videos. I'm actually in the process of making 2 new videos, and I have a new CD coming out. So it's just a lot going on right now. But if you ever want to know anything about me and where I'm playing, what shows I got coming up or anything, I normally post mostly on my Facebook pages, and some of that carries over onto Instagram. So,
well, I mean,
it's just,
yeah, you talked about the entertainment business. The money can be good, but the work is not steady. And you're hustling. You're all over the place. Me, I play every Friday night at one place, and I like that. It's a steady gig. I like the people. They treat me right, and you can do that. But on Saturday nights, you never know where I'm going to be. I'm going to be someplace, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm doing these podcasts. So you just got to keep hustling. You got to keep working for it. But I do hope that you're getting appreciated the way you should be, the way you deserve to be, because you're putting it out there. I feel your soul when you sing these songs. I mean, I don't. You have to. It's good production. It's definitely good production. I want you to give shout outs to the producers. You already gave shout outs to one, but I want you to shout them out again and let people know. And then shout outs to your bandmates, the people that have helped you put this together. Are these the songs that you're putting out? Are they tracks that get produced by a producer? Or are they live musicians that go to a studio? Tell me about, some of the songs that how you're producing those songs.
So right now, I do not have a live band CD. I have not brought in musicians to come and play live for any of the records I've released. All of the songs or the tracks are produced by a producer. I mentioned one of them earlier, Reggie Mungo. Another one is Philip Williams. Oh, I love working with him. He knows my style, and he's done about 4 maybe of the songs I have. And there's a couple of others that I only reached out to them one time and dealt with them once. So I don't quite remember all their names. But then there's another producer I've been working with forever and a day. His name is Chris Robertson. So I would say, I used to actually record in his studio back in the day. And so he really taught me a lot with regard to studio sessions and what to do and how to get the best sound. So I would say the latest and greatest engineer that I've been dealing with for the last maybe 10 years, his name is Nelson Blanchard. And he's been an engineer forever and a day. And, he's got a very good studio. It's quality. If it's not quality sounding to me, I don't want it. Mm-hmm. And so even though I have the band, I just never really brought them in for that live, music session to actually, put some songs together. Because if I'm going to do a CD with the band, then the whole CD has to be live. So since all of the CDs that I have are just tracks that were created, I didn't want to mix the two. Mm-hmm. So they're all produced by, various producers. Let me see, who else? I was trying to think of what was the other shout out I wanted to do. But with regards to all my music that's been released, I mean, people can go to iTunes, any of the digital download sites to pull up any of my music. And, all those songs were either engineered by, Chris Robertson or Nelson Blanchard. And again, there was multiple producers for all the songs. Like you mentioned, In Charge, it kind of tickled me because I did that song, about maybe 7 years ago. And, just to know that you listened to it or you heard it, and I know it's 7 years old.
Oh, let's take a listen. Let's take a little listen. It's got a good beat. A little scrub to the middle. Oh, Oh, that's a little taste. That's a little taste for them. That's a little taste for those people. Oh my goodness. You know, you got grooves, you got moves. Okay, I'm going to put it out to the universe. Make a live, you have these fine musicians that work with you doing these shows. Let's get them all in the studio. I know I know that's a lot to ask from Teslanay.
Yeah, this is.
You know, hey, it's hard to get people together, even for a show to go, you know, one night. As we get older, once again, we got families, we got responsibilities, we got day jobs. Oh, I can't go to that show in Texas. I can't go to that show in Arkansas. Boss is making me gotta work.
Rehearsals are hard.
I gotta flip some burgers or whatever. You know, it's hard. It's hard to get away from your job, your family. You know, there's a wife tugging, there's a husband tugging at your pant leg. Hey, don't go. You know. Oh my God, children tugging. Please don't go. Oh, Daddy, be right back. Mama, be right back. Oh, I think Chris Rock had a whole routine about that. Mama, be right back. Daddy, be right back.
Well, you know, in my future plans is to do a full blown blues CD. Yes. Because that's where my heart is, and I wouldn't want to do a blues album with tracks. I would want to use the band because that authentic sound of the instruments, you know, for the blues, I would want that to be present.
Well, this is a good time to shout out the Teslanay band as we wind this thing down for this edition of the. Go ahead.
Well, there's I'll just call them out their first names. There's Orlando. There's Miguel. There's oh Lord, Kenneth.
And what do they play?
I'm sorry. Orlando is on the keys. Miguel was the bass. The drummer is oh Lord, I have a nickname for him. Is what I always call him. And I got to think of it. Isn't that sad?
It's tough.
Oh Lord, just because you asked me,
I put you on the spot. I'm forgetting everything every day.
I'm like, I've been playing with these guys for years, and it's like I have a special nickname for him, and that's why. So when you go to think of people's real names, it's like it escapes you. Just like when somebody asks you, "What's the phone number?" and you're so used to pressing a button to call somebody, and you know, and you can't remember the phone number. But anyway,
that's all right. Next time you call him out, you be like James Brown, baby, you.
No, his name is Dwayne, and the guitar player, which is awesome. He is awesome.
Now you made me think
I call him Kenny.
Now you made me think of what's happening. Huh? What's up, Dwayne? You made me think of what's happening back in the 70s. Growing up with these shows.
But yeah, it's just 4 of them. I really want to add some horn players to the band. That's what I'm focused on next, too, to add some horn players.
I think you know a tromboner.
So that's to come.
I think you know a tromboner. I think he's in your family.
No.
You're not going to bring any of your family in. Come on. I'm so excited that they all play instruments. Oh, my goodness. I want to, I want to at least, I know they play drums. At least get them a maraca or something, a timbale, a couple of sticks to bang together. I want to see your family gel together.
No, that's not going to happen.
No, I love it.
That's not going to happen.
I love it. Teslanay.
You're funny, Keys Dad.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, but looks aren't everything. Oh, funny looks. Teslanay. Oh, my goodness. I'm so glad that we got together. Last time that we were supposed to talk, you were jumping into the studio. What did you do?
Yes.
That was only like a couple of weeks ago. What were you doing?
Working on one of the songs that's going to be a part of my upcoming album. It got pushed back a couple of weeks, but I'm hoping that it can come out, before the summer ends, before the fall starts. Let me put it that way. But yes, I was able to finish another song. So you'll hear it when it comes out.
Hey, I said be productive, and you were productive. You made the magic happen. Oh, that's exciting. It's exciting. You already have all these great songs in the bag, and you're still putting stuff out there, hit after hit after hit. Oh, I encourage my loyal listener, go check out Teslanay. Look up. I just put that in the Google. Easy as pie. And the best place to start, of course, is Teslanay.com. That's got everything. That's got your homepage, and then there's links to all your social media. There's not links to your Apple or your Spotify. You need to have your webmaster get you a link to Apple and Spotify. But if you put Teslanay in the Apple and Spotify, you're gonna find your tracks. Hey, and buy some merch, because the latest thing that I've seen on my Facebook feed, on my my social media from musicians, is if you buy a T-shirt, that's like 1 million Spotify listens. Would you agree? You being the business side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that you said my website, which is, I would say, under construction, because the website that I had for years, that was created by a great designer. He was a good friend of mine also. He passed away several years back. And so I had to switch my website. So the one that's out there now is actually the one that, is newly created, and there's like no merch link or any of that on this new site. I had all of that on my previous website. So we're still working on updating it and getting more information out there on all my links, and possibly adding a merch page. A link to it too, for people to order things that they want. It's
got the basics. You got the home, the about. There's a place for events. Eventually, you'll have all the events, and probably most important, the place where you can contact Teslanay. If people slide into your DMs, business only. What are you open to? Are you open to collaborations? Somebody thinks, maybe a rapper out there wants you to sing a hook. Is that something that you'd be open to?
Yeah, I get that often. At least I get a couple of those a month on my Facebook, inbox. People are always reaching out to me wanting to do a collaboration. Like, I got about four different artists on hold right now. I told them, look, I'm focused on trying to finish my latest CD. So, once that's complete, then, I have to reach out to each one of them. One of them is a rapper. The other two sing R&B, soul music. They're kind of in between. So, I do get all kind of requests, and I don't always accept all of them.
All right. Well, big news on the horizon. You heard it here. By the end of this year, maybe by the end of the summer, there'll be a whole new CD full of Teslanay songs for you to listen to, for you to groove to.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness, to change your attitude. If you're feeling blue, it's going to make you feel sexy. Oh, my goodness. Oh, make you feel so good. That's
right.
And make you want to dance, make you want to join a dance crew and go over to a nice club. It's so good. So good. But, are there any shows coming out in the near future? Are you going to be doing anything live coming up real soon? I'll put this out in the next couple of days.
You say anything live with regard to shows?
Teslanay, anything you playing anywhere? Yes. Where you at?
I just did a show Sunday for the 4th. It had various artists on that. The next show I have, one of the shows recently got canceled. It was on the 9th, July 9th, but the next one after that is August 6th, and that's supposed to be a very big ordeal. That one's going to be in Gonzales, Louisiana. It's actually the Roundup, the motorcycle Roundup committee. They're having a big biker convention, and it's in Gonzales, Louisiana at Lamar Dixon, and I will be performing on August 6th, that Saturday, because it's like I think 4 or 5 day event. So I'll be there on Saturday with some other artists, and it's supposed to be really big.
Wow. Motorbikes. I just did a motorbike show. They can get kind of rowdy.
Yeah. I've sung at several of them. I was in Arkansas, Little Rock, Arkansas again for, it was another Roundup biker convention out there I did several years ago, and it was humongous. It was in like a big old auditorium, civic center, or no, not a civic center. It was like an auditorium. Excellent. And because it had the circular, I call it circular seats with the stage in the middle.
Wow.
I guess it was one of the convention places out there.
Oh, a concert in the round. That's kind of fun, because you got to keep turning around to sing to those people behind you. Yeah, what are you doing behind me? What are you doing? Keep an eye on those people back there.
They didn't seat anybody behind the stage, but they had all the front and the sides. It was all filled up, and the floor was all filled up. I mean, I've never seen that many motorcyclists in my life. It was fun. Yeah. It was really fun.
Oh no, it gets rowdy, but it gets fun. It just gets so energy. Once again, the energy flows. Oh my goodness.
Hmm.
I don't know about you. I've had a great time talking to you, Teslanay. I don't want this to be the last time that we chat. I want you to come back when you have other things to promote. When that album
Okay.
gets made, if you want to talk about that, talk about more. Oh my goodness, it's
Okay.
nice to know where people come from, where people start. You get your beginnings from from your parents, from your siblings, from
Yeah.
and then inspired by other things as well. I'm inspired by you, Teslanay, and I hope
Thank
my loyal
you.
listener gets some knowledge of how to and make sure you go to business school. Get some
Yeah.
business knowledge.
Yes.
Even
You
if
need it for this business.
you better believe it, they're gonna people will
Yes.
take advantage of you. We're talking about
Hmm.
the singers of the '60s and even in the '70s. They played like 8 shows a week, and they came home with $1 in their pocket. Figuratively speaking, died broke. How many
Oh,
singers
yeah.
died broke?
I know it's awful. But I wanted to give one more shout out, if I can,
Give all the
to
shout
my
outs now.
to my manager. He's been my manager for about it's almost 7 years now, and he's really been awesome. He's like family now. I just call him family, and his name is Randy Fields, and so I want to shout out to him because he's really been supportive and pushing my music. And every time I have to go out of town on the road, whether it be a flight or we all rolling, he's always there.
Well, it's nice to have a Randy Fields in your corner. A good manager that's taking care of you, has your best
Yeah.
interests. Helping you to get the shows and helping you to get things rolling, get you to the next level.
Right.
And what's
Right.
what's JDG Platinum Records?
That's actually my record label, and the JDG is actually the actual icon for the label is my parents. It's a younger picture of them when they were newly married or dating. It's a picture of them, and the JD is they call my dad JD, and my mother's name was Geraldine. So I did JDG Platinum Records. But
How?
I belonged to a record label before, but I got off of that and I started my own.
Hey, sometimes you got to. Sometimes you got to. We talked about the business, and we could talk more about that next time.
All right.
All right. Hey, I always finish these things off with last words for the people. These could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, maybe a mantra that you wake up with every morning, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Teslanay, give the last words for the people.
Okay, I want to say for those artists that are new to the game, never give up. You're going to hear no probably a lot of times, but if you really want to be an artist and sing and it's your passion, stick with it and never let anybody pull you down. Stay positive and keep pushing and keep grinding. That's my positive words for today.
Well, there you have it, party people. Teslanay. What a cool lady. What a nice lady. Oh, my goodness. And she's just, this stuff's coming out of her head and out into our ears. It's amazing. It's just amazing. And the story, I know she only told really a part of her story, but a musical family. I fully believe it's genetic. It's in the blood. So happy that I got a chance to chat with Teslanay and that you got to listen to a little bit of her story. Make sure you look her up, Teslanay.com, JDG Platinum Recordings. Oh my goodness, giving it up to her mom and dad. I love it. I love it. She's a daddy's girl. All right, party people. Thank you so much once again, Teslanay, for being on the What Makes You Famous podcast. Now, if I'm turning my attention to you, my loyal listener, would like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for me. It's keysdan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.